What's up, friends? Welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are doing well. I have done my research. I have put together the top 12 makeup trends for spring 2023. I thought it would be fun to chat about these here on my channel, talk about what are the looks, what are the colors, the techniques, the aesthetics that are trending right now in the community, and give you guys my reaction, let you know all of my thoughts, because some of them are up my alley and some of them not so much. So we're gonna go through all of that today. So if you guys want to hear all of the top trends for spring 2023, and maybe we can start a little discussion in the comments, then keep watching. And if this is your first time here, welcome to my channel. My name is Sophia. I do a lot of fun videos like this that focus on makeup. I do a lot of favorites videos, reviews of luxury beauty products to help you make good purchasing decisions. So if that sounds up your alley, then definitely consider subscribing to my channel. Also, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you like it. And without further ado, let's get into these trends. All right, friends, I'm just going to scooch over here so that I can insert some images as we go along. Also, in the description box down below, I will be linking all of the articles that I referenced, as well as all of the makeup that is on my face today. So party people, let's talk about the first trend that I saw on almost every list, and that is the no makeup look. And I'm also seeing some people refer to this as skinimalism, but I feel like for a lot of us, we call it the no makeup look. I feel like this always comes back, you know, especially during the spring and summer. We usually go for maybe lighter formulas. Maybe we're looking for a lot of one and done looks. We're looking for a lot of like multi-purpose products. I think multi-purpose products as well is kind of something that I am seeing trending a lot lately. I feel like we go through these phases where we have a trend of maybe a little bit more embellishment, more makeup. Matte textures have really been in the past couple of months. I feel like for the longest time we had a lot of very sheer formulas. Now we're seeing a lot of like matte lipsticks and matte coverage foundations. I think that this is sort of the pendulum maybe swinging in slightly the opposite direction and people going with more of like that minimalist look. I also see brands like, you know, Glossier kind of coming back into popularity a little bit with their entry into Sephora. I also see brands like Jones Road, for example, becoming very, very popular, especially with the Gen Z market. Like a lot of those products like the Miracle Balm, very minimalist, very multi-purpose. What do I think of this trend? I mean, I think that this isn't even really a trend for me. It's more like a mood, because I don't just go with the no makeup look because it's a trend. I think some days I'm in the mood for something very, very minimal, and I'm feeling that vibe. I'm feeling my best minimalist self, even though y'all know I'm not a minimalist at all. And then some days I want to be super duper glam. I kind of think of the no makeup look almost as like a challenge sometimes, a fun challenge to how little makeup can I wear while looking my very best. It's a super fun challenge. Comment down below if you guys would like for me to do a no makeup look so you guys can see the little tips and tricks that I have. But in general, I really like this trend for spring. This is really the time where I start getting into maybe more of like a minimalist makeup if I were to. The next trend that I'm seeing everywhere is underpainting. If you guys are not familiar with this, this is a technique where you basically put, you know, like your blush, your bronzer, your contour, all of those sort of color makeup products on first, and then you put the foundation on top, and it's supposed to give this super natural kind of blurred blended effect. This is not a new concept. This has been around for a while. And I think what we're seeing here, let me know what you guys think, because I'm not really on TikTok, but I think what we're seeing here is that this is something that was popular and was almost like a fun video idea that we saw on YouTube a couple of years ago. And now the folks on TikTok are popularizing it again. I think that there are a couple of celebrities that are doing this technique. And so now everybody's doing it. Basically, anybody who didn't hear about it the first go around is now obsessed with this technique. What do I think of this trend? You know, I'm just kind of like, whatever. I'm really not into this. I like to do my makeup the old-fashioned way, and that is put on my foundation first. Maybe I'm doing my eyes first, you know, if I have like a really glam look and I don't want to get any fallout. But usually what I'm doing is I put on my foundation first, and then I go in with my blush and my bronzer. That's just the way that I like to do things. I find that if my products are good quality and I'm using good brushes and I sort of have my application down, I don't really need to do this whole underpainting trick. I feel like it would just take me probably more time. And I like a little bit of punchiness from my product. So I'd love to hear down below, is this something that you do all the time? Is this your go-to technique? What do you like about it? Or is it something that just to you sort of seems a little bit of a fad? Trend number 3 is bejeweled accents. I think it's really interesting that we have this skinimalism trend, but then we also have this bejeweled accent trend. This reminds me of when Euphoria, that show on Netflix, became popular. A lot of people started doing the bejeweled accents, and I thought we were past that, but according to all of the articles that I read, it's still very much in. What do I think of this trend? I think that this trend, I don't dislike it. I think it looks cool on a lot of different people, but I think personally it just isn't for me. And the reason for that is because I just do not have the time to be bejeweling my eyes. I feel like maybe I'm a little bit too old for this trend. If you're new here, I'm about 32 right now. I'm gonna be 32 this upcoming Saturday. And I don't have that many places where I can go to wear this type of look. I cannot show up to my Zoom calls with my eyes bejeweled. I suppose I could, go out on the weekends with bejeweled eyes, but then again, I'm the kind of person that is always in a rush. I'm always running from like filming a video to working out and showering and getting ready. I'm that kind of person that's like maximizing my time. And so I barely have enough time to put on a pair of lashes if I want to. So I feel like this trend, it's very cute, but I just don't think it's for me. I think it's for the person that really loves that process and experience of creating that look and wants to be a little creative. And for that, more power to you. I think that's great. Now, a trend that I can get into is trend number 4, and that is bright pops of color. Once again, kind of surprising to see these more colorful trends when we also have a minimalist trend going on. But I think what's happening here is that a lot of people, they're being very minimal with their makeup, and then they're choosing almost like a statement piece to focus on for their face. So grabbing a really bright blush and kind of making that be the statement on your face, a really bright lipstick or some bright eyeliner. These are all good ways to kind of take part in this trend. Comment down below and let me know, is there a statement color that you like going to? I think for me, I like bright orange tones, especially on the cheeks and the lips. I love a good monochromatic type of look. I think doing a bright wing liner is also kind of almost like a safer way to try out this trend. I was happy to see this because I feel like we are seeing a lot of neutral minimalist tones sort of take their place in a lot of the new releases. And so I'm hoping that we get a little bit more color from brands this spring and summer. Trend number 5 is kind of playing off the makeup of the 90s, and that is a soft grunge type of look. Or in some articles, I saw this described as soft goth, which I thought was weird. This is almost like a smoky eye, but pared back a little bit. I'm seeing a lot of earthy toned browns and taupes, soft smudge pencil liner. I actually really like this trend. I've really been into pencil liner the past year or two. One of my favorite go-tos if I'm going for like a very simple look is just a very neutral eye and then taking a brown liner, doing a very light line and just kind of smudging it a little bit, maybe smudging out the edges into a little bit of a wing. I think it can be a very beautiful, sophisticated look on a lot of people. I really like that kind of 90s supermodel type of look, and that's definitely what this is playing off of. Similarly, we have trend number 6, which is the 90s lip. Just like we had kind of the 90s tones and kind of the grungy eyes in the last trend, this is focusing on the lips, specifically with kind of those brown tones, the brown 90s lip, and also very obvious lip liner. I think a lot of you guys know what I'm talking about. When I was younger and I went to like a MAC counter, I saw this style of lip all the time. And it's funny because these aren't new trends. These are not new aesthetics or techniques. They're just things that are kind of being recycled a lot of times from other eras, but we see them sort of being popularized a lot by some of the younger generations that are on TikTok and like the shorter form content, etc. I actually really like the 90s lip. I love browns. I love a good brown lip, and I don't mind kind of that very obvious lip liner. I think that there is a right way to do it. You know, I think maybe a little bit of blending, almost like an ombre lip, is a more wearable way to wear this trend. But I would love to know for you guys, is this a trend that you would love to leave in the past, maybe alongside your thin eyebrows or something like that? Or is this something that you are fully embracing? Because I love a good brown lip. Trend number 7, sad eyeliner. This is basically apparently eyeliner that is a little bit more downturned as opposed to the cat eye, which would be more of like an upward effect. You know, we did see the crying girl makeup go viral all over TikTok, and so maybe this is playing off of that. I don't think I like this trend. I think that anybody out there like me who is really trying to focus on uplifting their face and not sort of directing the eye downward can understand what I mean, in that this isn't going to be flattering on anybody. I think that if you naturally have, you know, really beautiful, like naturally downturned eyes, you can play that up. I think in many cases, you can kind of create a little bit of like a doll effect, which is really in right now. But I think in general, I don't really get the whole sad girl makeup look. I don't really go for a downturn eye. I like to be able to lift the face with a cat eye. I like using my makeup to sort of create that type of lifted look. So I think in general, this isn't for me, but I would love to hear your thoughts. Trend number 8, blush, and specifically a technique that apparently is called mid-tone blushing. Now, what is this? Okay, so instead of applying blush sort of to the tops of the cheekbones, we were definitely seeing a lot of that. What's popular now apparently is focusing the blush more so on the center of the cheek or the apples of the cheek, even wrapping it a little bit downward, and then taking a lighter color blush and using that shade to kind of blend the blush in with the rest of your face. So creating more of a natural look. I actually love this trend. To me, this isn't even really a trend. This is just something that I do all the time. If I'm not using a lighter color blush, I'm usually using a finishing powder, like one of the Hourglass ambient powders, for example, something that kind of blends and blurs the edges of a color that I put down. This is a great technique where if you are fair like me, but you want to use a brighter, punchier, more vibrant blush, but you don't want it to look too streaky or patchy, to blend it into the rest of your makeup so that it looks more natural. I love a good blush kind of right here on the center of the cheek because that's where I blush naturally. And yeah, I just think it's, I don't know, for me, it is a no-brainer, so I'm kind of glad that it is a trend now. I'm here for the mid-tone blushing. Trend number 9 for spring is pastels. Pastels for spring, groundbreaking. I know, it's not the most groundbreaking trend, but we are seeing this. You know, the new Chanel collection has a lot of pastels. The new Chantecaille collection for spring has a lot of pastels. We're seeing a lot of mid-range brands launch pastels as well. I think that this trend, you're either here for it or you're not. I actually really like pastels. I think it all just depends on the formula and the curation of colors. I think that pastels can be a really great kind of minimalist one and done look as well. You really don't need to blend a ton of them together. You can go in with one light shade on the eye and it looks super beautiful. I also think that pastels go beyond eyeshadow. We're seeing a lot of like really bright, fresh pink blush right now, and we're kind of seeing that go into lip colors also. So if you're not into like the 90s grungy look and the brown lip line or anything like that, then maybe this trend will be more your speed. Trend number 10 is barely there brows or colored eyebrows or colored lashes. So basically sort of anything other than the norm. I feel like with this trend, we're kind of swinging a little bit in the opposite direction, right? We have totally been in that fluffy, supernatural, almost minimalist type of brow territory for a while now. Also, just kind of the thicker, bushier brow has definitely been more of a trend. Then we started seeing people go for more of a skinny brow, and now we're seeing people completely bleach their brows, maybe dye them a different color. Same thing with the lashes. That is basically what this trend is all about. I think for me, I think it can look very cool on certain people, especially if that really exudes your personal style. I don't dislike the look. I really do think some people can pull off the bleach brow look, but I think for me, it's not really something that I can pull off. What I actually have been experimenting with instead, which is a little bit more approachable for some of you who are watching this video, is instead of going for black false lashes, I've actually been experimenting with brown false lashes, and I love the look. I went into Sephora the other day and one of the sales associates was like, "What is on your eyes? Are your lashes brown?" And she said that she thought that they looked so good. So I think going in with like a brown liner and brown lashes, that's a really great way to kind of experiment with something a little bit different, and is also a little bit, I guess, more minimalist than, you know, going in with like a colored mascara, for example. Trend number 11 is called Hyperglow. I've also seen this called vampire skin, and it's basically just super glowy skin. And in some cases, what people are doing is that they're going all over the face with a glowy product, and then they're going into just specific places on the face and mattifying those places. Instead of going in with like a foundation and then a highlighter in certain places, it's kind of like the opposite, if that makes sense. We're seeing a lot of highlighter sticks and balms and those types of things coming out. And you know what? I like a glowy skin trend. I really like glowy skin for spring as well, especially when it is paired with the skinimalism trend. I think that those two can go together very, very well, but I like it to an extent, okay? I do not want to be putting highlighter balm all over my face. That's not the kind of look that I really want to exude. I don't want to look super sweaty and oily and balmy, but I do like products that have some illumination, some blurring, that kind of let the skin kind of show through a little bit. Today I am wearing the Chantecaille Future Skin Foundation, and that to me is like one of the perfect foundations for just that. You know, maybe you can go in with a little bit of the Glossier Future Dew. That's sort of what I'm talking about. I don't know if I can go as far as doing the vampire skin, but if any of you guys have product recommendations, you know, for how to kind of achieve this look in a very wearable way, then comment down below. And finally, trend number 12 for spring are metallics. And I see this going two different ways. On the one end, I'm seeing sort of burnished eyes. I think copper is a very popular shade at the moment. We saw a lot of people go for the copper hair trend this past year. So I see sort of like that warm, toasty, burnished eye copper type of trend. And then I'm also seeing the sort of early 2000s resurgence that we're seeing in fashion and a lot of other trends like the color pink, for example. We're also seeing that in the form of kind of frosty eyeshadow. So frosty pink, frosty white, any kind of like bubblegum, Barbie, Paris Hilton, early 2000s frostiness. You know, think Britney Spears in the Oops, I Did It Again video. That type of look is also in. And you know what? I love a frosty eye. I'm just gonna say it right there. I love a frosty eye. I like a little bit of, you know, a frosty, shimmery MAC lip gloss type of lip. I'm here for it. I think one of my favorite eyeshadows is just kind of like a frosty white. I find it to be very illuminating, brightening, and youthful on the eye. I think depending on your skin tone, you can kind of adapt this trend for whatever works for you. But what I'm definitely seeing for spring is kind of like that bright, youthful, early 2000s metallics, and then also kind of like the burnished, coppery type of metallic tones as well. All right, friends, those are all the trends that I have to share for you today. Now it is your turn. Sound off in those comments down below and let me know what you think of these trends. Which of them do you prefer? And then which of them are you totally staying away from with a 10-foot pole? I would love to know. If you like this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and let me know if you have any other similar video ideas that you would like me to do. Subscribe if you haven't already. And with that, friends, I hope that you are having a fantastic day and I will see you in my next one. Goodbye.